AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller.
Good morning, Scott Duff.
Good morning, Ellen Miller. We're wearing our loved shirts today.
We got independently are wearing
I know, we got a little love and stuff because we need some love.
We're both feeling that. We need
feeling
that.
the love.
We both have hearts on
Feeling
our
that I am loved. You are a giant Care Bear.
You are.
Just throwing out love everywhere.
Love everywhere.
Love everywhere. Girl, we need some love this
love
week.
Is the answer.
Love. Disgraced Congressman George Santos is now in jail. And a convicted U.S. felon is visiting Scotland right now.
They're giving him a what for.
They really are. And he also just went on and on and on about windmills. Again,
He and the windmills.
It's just so
the windmills
weird.
of his mind.
He is the man of La Mancha.
He is.
No, he's not. No,
he's
man
not.
of La Mancha. I mean, he might be a little cookie pants.
Yeah.
Like Don Quixote.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting windmills. One windmill at a time.
Yeah, I guess some imaginary things, because we like doing imaginary stuff and creating imaginary problems and throwing imaginary controversies out into the world to distract from all this other stuff.
Look over here.
Look over there. There's a windmill.
There's a windmill. It's on everybody's mind. I mean, nobody can stop talking about windmills.
Look, the birds, the cancer,
All of it.
the
way they look
the unsightliness,
from above,
the
and they're
unsightly
flying
bulges
over.
that it puts on you. Oh yeah, it's just awful. Oh, but to cure all that of all the ills and the problems that windmills give us, we have a fabulous show for you today. Hey, we are huge fans of Illinois State Senator Mike Simmons, and guess what? He recently announced his bid for Congress,
Yes, he
so we're
did.
going to be chatting with him later this hour. Girl, here's the moment where I cannot burst into tears. You have to keep me on track
do my
with
best.
this one.
It's gonna be hard.
Because critically acclaimed drag queen, visual artist, speaker, illustrator, author, and winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9, Sasha Velour, is coming to Steppenwolf August 1st through the 3rd. She's going to be joining us at the top of the second hour, and I am so emotional.
Okay, just get a grip. It'll be okay.
I know. Well, so emotional. Let's see here. It's a little wordplay because that's the song that she lip synced to win.
Of course
with
she
her
did.
iconic performance. Everybody was gooped and gagged. She had reveals of like flowers coming from her gloves and everything, and then rose petals coming out from under her. It was just I've seen her before. I saw her Smoke and Mirrors tour. She's coming again this weekend. I'm so excited to go, and I cannot wait to talk to her.
Okay.
Sasha Velour.
Yeah, we will be coming up soon.
I know. And we've got Market Days coming up, too. And rising country music star and one of CMT's next women of country, Brooke Eden, is going to chat with us as she's getting ready for Northalsted Market Days.
I listen to some of her music. Very good.
I know. Come on, giddy up. Well,
Giddy up, girl.
that is a bop. Right
Yeah,
there.
it
is
is.
a definite bop. And of course, we would love to hear from you. So give us a call on the Credo mobile phone and text line, 773-763-9278. Again, the Credo mobile phone and text line is 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. Visit credomobile.com. And that means you can text us too if you don't want to be shy.
For some
if you're
reason.
feeling shy,
Don't be shy, but if you are,
you
we
can just go ahead
understand.
and send us a little texty
Yeah,
boo.
just
And
like
we can
that.
chat that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we are. And also, you can listen live Sundays right here from 11 to 1 on 8:20 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com, or you can watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page.
Yeah,
So-
when people ask, well, how do I listen to you? I don't have a radio. I'm like, every possible way.
Oh my gosh,
I can
you got
listen
a
to
phone,
anything.
you got a computer,
you got a radio, you got a personal assistant, one of the Alexa or Google.
Yeah, don't say
Home.
that too loud because something might be
just
going
said the
on.
names.
I know, that's all right.
Give
but
them any
just-
command,
but they might just start.
But all those. I mean, that's what's great about those little speakers. I mean, I just can run around the house and say play, blah, whatever, and whether it's music or WCPT, it comes right on.
It comes right on.
People
Look at
don't
that.
realize it. That easy, folks. That easy.
I know, just say, hey Alexa.
But if you're
Google.
yeah.
Google, Alexa. There we are.
Indeed.
So yeah, that's it. How are you doing, Ellen Miller?
I'm doing pretty well. This weather has been, I don't remember this much humidity day after day. I don't mind a little humidity, but this feels like we're living in the swamplands. I mean, it's just, and I hear it's like this all over the world because of the heating up of our planet, which
sure is.
certain people are ignoring, which is a whole nother subject.
Those damn windmills.
Yeah, it's the windmills.
It's the windmills.
They're not pushing enough air.
They're just churning up humidity.
But we've had a nice week. Did go see the world premiere opening night of Billie Jean
Yes.
at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater on Thursday.
Didn't you ever run in with the one and only Lily Tomlin?
I'm gonna get to
so
that.
sorry. Oops.
No, yes, I did.
Bury the lead. Sorry about that.
As we saw Lily Tomlin and her wife Jane are both producers of the show, and of course, when I got my press tickets from Emma, I'm like, is Lily here? And she's, yeah, Lily's here. Jane isn't, but Lily's here. And then I realized I didn't even ask if Billie Jean was here. I just asked if if Lily was there. But Billie Jean wasn't. She's been coming to, I'll tell you another story about that in a minute. But we're walking into the theater, down the hall. There's one of those big backgrounds that has Billie Jean, the musical or the show, not the musical. And then you could take pictures. But right before we did that, I saw an open for Lily. There was like people were gathered around her, and I didn't want to be one of those, but I just saw an open, and I just said, Lily, you are a goddess. And I just want to thank you for inspiring so many of us. And she, at that point, grabbed my arm and hugged me, and we both teared up.
No.
It was so spontaneous.
I would have died.
Scott and Kathy
was just, floor.
It happened so quickly, and we literally both teared up. I mean, I just said what was in my heart quickly.
Yeah.
Right off, and she reached for me to hug me, and I went to sit down, and I couldn't concentrate on the show for the first few minutes.
Of course, because you're like, there's Lily Tomlin.
Because Lily Tomlin, who I'm older than you guys. I watched Laugh-In as a kid.
I watched Laugh-In as a kid
reruns.
too. They played reruns on Channel 9 in St. Louis.
Ringy dingy,
two ringy dingy,
and just everything, and coming out as a lesbian, and all she's done in her one-woman show, and just her acting, everything. I meant it. I said what was in my heart. I didn't plan it. And when you're your true self and something comes, then you have a magical moment like we had.
Yeah.
And it was funny because then I took a picture of her after we posed for the weird pictures with the tennis rackets and the balls. We were walking in, and I didn't want to grab her and do anything, but I did take a picture of her. And Jerry Nunn, who's often on the show, he's our the diva of LGBTQ entertainment. He was over her shoulder in the photo, and he commented on Facebook, "I saw your moment with her. It was really sweet."
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. So the play was, I would recommend the play. It was very good. Those of us, and I was telling Scott before we went on the air, I grew up in the women's lib movement in the 60s and 70s. I was a kid, but I was very tuned in. And Billie Jean was a big part of that. I was not out as a young person. And, when she came out as a lesbian, I was sort of like, oh.
When did she come out as of the closet?
In the I
was
think
it in the 70s or the 80s?
81 maybe.
Yeah,
it might have been 81. It might have been 81. Because they had the timeline up on the screen of all the different things that happened to her. But she was treated so poorly for just admitting, she and her husband in a press conference, that she had an affair. I'm not telling you any spoilers, it's fact.
Right.
And I literally, that was the time when I think I got the most emotional during the play, was because they showed million contracts canceled, appearances canceled, uninvited to play. Just like her everything she worked for, women's rights, women's equal pay, all of it just disappeared overnight. Temporarily. What were you going to say?
Well, but was it because she... Yeah. Did they say like she had an affair with a woman?
Yes.
Or just, okay.
Yeah, because she had a brief affair, and I don't want to spoil, but it's facts. Yeah. But she had a brief affair that came back to her because, sometimes when you break up with somebody, even if you weren't with them that long, they could be scornful, man or woman.
Yes.
And this is what happened. And it was just, it broke my heart. And, to think, even not that many years ago, that she was treated like this just for saying she had an affair with a woman. And look at what we're accepting now is okay for the president of the United States. That's another story. But the show it's a good reminder, and especially to young women who may have had an idea of what she did. I had forgotten how hard she fought for women's tennis, for women to get equal pay. They showed the disparity. A man would get 7,000 and the woman would get 700. So I mean, it was like, but we really have her to thank for so much. And she used to work out at the Lakeshore Athletic Club, where I still work out today here in Lincoln Park. When she was kind of in the period in the early 80s, she was living here in Chicago, and she was kind of out of the limelight a little bit. And I'd see her at the club. I'm like, oh my God, you're at my club. But she obviously has done very well. She's been with her partner for many years now. They're still together. I heard. So a quick little story.
Yes, please.
I was at my neighborhood thrift shop right around the corner from my house. These two women run a great little thrift shop, but more than anything, it's a community. They have cookies out. They have tea. People just come and hang out. And I was in there with my dog. They all give dog treats. I was walking Maggie, and she's got to go up this little step.
She knows where she gets her snacks.
So we go inside, and was sitting. I'm laying on the floor looking at records, and there was some records, and Maggie's laying next to me. And these four people come in, and they looked very fun. They looked like they might be trans women, maybe a trans man, and whatever. I'm like, wow, what a fun. I said, hi.
What a fun vibe.
Hi, hi. Hey, fam. Are you guys from around here? And they go, no, we're from New York. We just came in to support a friend of ours who's in a play. And all of a sudden I look and I realize that Murphy Taylor Smith, who plays Renee Richards, among other roles in the show, is there with her three besties. They just drove in from New York. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you were in Billie Jean last night that I saw. And we're hugging and everything. And the people that run the store.
I love that.
And then we just had the greatest time in there. And I met Meg, Charlotte, Devin, and Murphy. And they had just they loved the neighborhood. They were renting an Airbnb around the corner. And Murphy, who plays the role of several different women in the show, very integral part. She's staying downtown. And they said, can you help us pick a restaurant on Sunday night? We want to go to a very special place for our last night here. So I helped them pick a restaurant.
What'd you pick?
I gave him Avec.
Okay.
I gave him Girl and the Goat. I gave him Piccolo Sogno and Avali on the Park.
All right.
All great vibe restaurants, and we just had a ball. I just right in the neighborhood around the corner from my house. So
I'm telling you, that's one of the best things about Chicago.
But we talked about Lily, and they go, I go, you guys were at the party. I couldn't make it to the party. I couldn't get into the party. And they go, you didn't get in. I said we had Chilinia on the show last week.
Oh, Shalana.
Shalana on the show last week, and I told them about the show, LGBT. Oh my gosh, you're on, and then blah, 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 blah. And they said Billie Jean had been at many of the previews. They weren't sure either why she wasn't at opening night. But they talked about Lily, and I told them about my moment. I reenacted it. And they were like, oh my God, she's the best. They loved her because she was at the party, of course. So anyway, I just had a Billie Jean kind of last few days.
That's amazing.
Between the Lily and running into Murphy, one of the actors, and her friends that drove in. I Googled a couple of them. They're also artists. They're actors.
Wonderful,
and they're
of course.
Very in the trans community in New York. They're very, very vibrant, very important. So just a little day.
What a full couple of days there. That's amazing.
It was.
There you go. That sure beats me just sweating, getting all swampy. I went to Beck
I would have loved to have gone to that show. Tell me about it.
Beck
with the CSO,
the Chicago
right?
Symphony Orchestra. He's amazing. He's just amazing.
I saw him this summer at Riot Fest, last fall at Riot Fest.
Yeah,
great.
Just incredible. Totally different vibe from his usual shows because he had an 80-piece orchestra behind him. And he's like, we're going to do some of the deeper cuts. It's kind of like we're going to slow things down a little bit. So things that he doesn't necessarily get to perform.
Right.
Because, he needs 80 pieces behind him.
Yeah.
But the thing that it was really fun, but it was just so hot.
It was hot.
It was so hot, and it felt like it just kept getting hotter throughout the night as opposed to cooling down. I'm like,
It did, because we had a friend in from Colorado. We cooked dinner for her. We ate dinner outside, and we were very comfortable. And then as it got to be around 9, all of a sudden it got really different out.
It was just.
It was weird. We had to go in.
I mean, you should see.
It wasn't my imagination.
We tried to resurrect, but it's Ravinia, so you're out on the lawn, and we had like a fancy little picnic. All of the cheese was just kind of like just this little
It's like
sort
that
of
raclette.
It was kind of like raclette, but you didn't need a little special.
You didn't need the
little
heater.
stove. It just kind of like went down to it,
Instant raclette.
and then, and in the most Beck fashion, his opener for his performance at Ravinia was a whistler.
Oh, that would have driven Kathy crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know who the whistler was?
It's like, I think her name, well, I was talking to one of my coworkers.
Some people hate whistling and some love it.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this whistler opened up, and one of my coworkers went, Molly Little? I'm like, what? How do you know that?
She's a whistler aficionado.
I know, because Molly opened up for somebody at Red Rocks too. And it's just like,
What songs does she whistle?
Who
knows? Nothing.
Songs.
Okay, originals.
One was a protest.
Originals. That would be really weird.
Yeah, she's like, this is my protest song against Big Sugar, and I'm like,
Big Sugar.
yeah, the sugar industry.
Top of my. Something's been bothering me for months. I don't know. Can't sleep at night over this.
I know. So, but we're listening. We're out there on the lawn. We're sweaty. We're dewy. We're looking great. And then all of a sudden, so they're like shooting. At Ravinia, there are some screens on the outside of the pavilion. So if you are on the lawn, you can take a little glimpse. What was like this really pretty blonde lady in a really pretty silver sequined dress and everything, and just whistling. And they were projecting her in black and white on this thing and on the screens, and I'm like, are we in a David Lynch movie? Like, it felt like we were in a David Lynch movie. It was so weird. She's incredibly talented.
Solo.
Yeah, she was just up there doing like her things. She had some tracks that she would whistle to.
Okay.
There were a couple of movie themes that I think she was doing.
Were people paying attention on the lawn? As much as they ever are.
I mean, as much as they ever
for
are.
An opening act.
Or just like, you're just kind of doing what, but it was just like, this is the most Beck thing on the planet. And then Dude Man came out, performed for 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
In that heat. He was like, he never took his jacket off. I was like, dude, man, even the orchestra, they were in short sleeves. Because it was warm. But I have discovered that any Beck song, when performed with an orchestra, would make the ideal Bond theme. Like everything, it sounded like an evening of James Bond, and it was magical. It was great. It was just so wonderful. Like, he is one of those people that is 100% doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Kind of like Sasha Velour, who's going to be coming up. Like this, she is just an artist, and Beck is definitely one of those people like, you're doing exactly what you need to do. It was great.
I would love to have seen that show. So he did some of his hit, obviously his songs that were recognizable with the orchestra. Or was it different stuff?
Well, he did a lot of stuff. He did like a lot of things off of his more like, is it Seascape? That's one of his more like mellow. He did a lot of stuff that was a little bit more down tempo, and then the orchestra left, and he did Deborah, and he did where it's at, 2 turntables and a microphone. He did that. He closed with Loser, of course, and he actually did one little surprise hit from Midnight Vultures with the orchestra. Midnight Vultures is my album of Beck. I love it.
I don't know the album names, but I'm sure I know the songs on the record.
But it was just wonderful. And again, being out in Ravinia, I was having a moment. I've been very nostalgic.
Yes.
As we said, and I was like, why do I love coming out to Ravinia? Because it's kind of like, it's a pain in the butt to get to, and it takes forever to go in the parking lot. Apparently the trains had some problems that night, which I'm so glad we drove.
Yeah.
Because
that's not fun.
Could you imagine being stuck on a train, like taking 2 hours?
Was it crowded as hell?
Oh, yeah. It was super duper crowded. But it reminded me a lot of my childhood in St. Louis, going to the Muni in Forest Park, which is this gigantic 10,000 seat outdoor theater where they do a different Broadway show every week. And it's like the biggest summer stock you
Yeah.
have ever seen. And it was like one of the most like happy moments of my childhood. So there's something about being around gigantic tall trees and being
Yeah, it
hot
reminds you. It's
and
very-
being there. It's like that just is summer to me.
It
So
is- I did make it out to Ravinia also on Tuesday night. First time I've been out in 2 years.
oh wow. What did you just see?
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Oh.
They played at the Carousel stage. Now, those of you of a certain age probably don't know who they are, but they did songs like Mr. Bojangles. Do you know that one? Cherry
Yeah.
Jeff Walker
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
And you know what? It was a lot of old hippies there, let's face it. But it was a great night because the Carousel stage is neat because it's not nearly as crowded. It's a smaller, intimate
Yeah,
situation.
it's more intimate kind of vibe.
You don't have to fight crowds or much traffic. And we had a little picnic lunch with my friend Natalie West and her friend Jill, Kathy, and me. And we just had it was nice. It was, I've been going to Ravinia since I was like 15,
Yeah.
16 years old. And it's very special, but it's been harder to get out there for a bunch of different reasons
Yeah.
the last few years. But it was really great to be back.
Yeah, it was great. And it was like we were with a fun crew. We were with our old neighbors, Andrew and Katie, who had moved, and we were with our new neighbors, Brooke and Megan. So we had like old neighbors, new neighbors, and then some other friends, like Katie's dad was there. And like it was great. It was a fun night, even though, and we were all like, get me to the car, and
Get me to the
crank
air conditioning.
the AC.
Yeah.
It was so good.
We
It was
were back to back Ravinia.
I know,
week.
we're doing some Ravinia
We're doing our
stuff.
summer thing because let me tell you, it goes by fast. We're almost in August.
Look, here's the deal. Again, the
Yeah.
weather's going to hold through September. We all know this.
Yes, it will.
The seasons have shifted.
It better
around-
because my cucumber plant has never been crazy. It's got so many blossoms, so big, and very few cucumbers. I guess the bees aren't around as much as we need them to be.
I think everything's a little odd this year.
Are you
in terms of
noticing
growing.
that too?
Yeah, I think it's been hot,
And then-
but it hasn't necessarily been sunny.
Yeah, cool.
You know
It's
what I
been
mean?
Cool. It's been hot. It's been rainy. It's been real
I
hot.
don't know. Everything's kind of like taking. Like it's off like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah. So hang on. Those cucumbers were gigantic last year.
I know. This year, hardly getting any.
Well,
I
and
hope
it's
to
also
bring
could
you
just
some.
be.
I hope to bring you
It could
and
also
Devin
just
some.
be the plant. There we are.
We'll see. We're doing a lot of cherry tomatoes, though. We enjoyed a beautiful Greek salad. We had our first cucumber, and it was beautiful.
Wonderful, amazing.
I love eating.
Opa. I love eating too. I had friends over last night. We had more lesbians over last night. We made a little niche salad.
Beautiful.
Around as we sat out.
I saw the Cubs beat up on the White Sox last night at Wrigley.
Oh, okay.
I had it at Rate Field.
Rate Field. I can't call it Rate Field. It's like it's Comiskey.
I still call it I just call it Sox Park.
Sox Park?
Sox Park. Sox Park.
Sox Park.
I'm going to Sox Park.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there
Anyway,
we
lots
go.
to do. So much
Lots
to
to
do.
do, so much to
Plenty
do.
left of the summer. You're right.
There's a
plenty to
lot
do.
of time left in the summer, a lot of time to spend outside. And we were outside through November last year, so just remember.
I literally had tomatoes and peppers
growing.
into
I remember.
December.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I know.
Why not?
No such thing as global.
No,
warming,
not at
though.
all.
Again, just God hugging us closer.
That's
There
nice
we
and
go.
cozy
There we
and
go.
warm.
And on that note, we should probably take a break and pay some bills. But before we go, this part about Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are struggling to make your mortgage, auto, and credit card payments, you are not alone. You need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. During the first quarter of 2025, more than 12% of credit card accounts, approximately 5% of auto loans, and nearly 1% of mortgages are more than 90 days past due, which is the highest in the past 15 years. If you're having challenges making your payments, the best time to contact Team Hochberg is today, not tomorrow, not next week, and not next year. Call Team Hochberg now at 855-563-2843 for a free consultation with an experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional. If you qualify, Team Hochberg will help you consolidate your debt, enhance your credit, and reduce your monthly payments. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of WCPT listeners, but they can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843, and the website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equalizing lender, NMLS 1124061. I think I just wouldn't mind to do the whole show like this for the rest, but we should probably take a break and I'll probably snap out of it.
I hope so.
So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
The Sports Cubicle.
I could say the Bears' all-time leading scorer. I could say 18-year NFL veteran. But for now, I think I'll just say he's the head coach at Rolling Meadows. He's Robbie Gold. What made you go from playing football to coaching?
I was coaching in another high school. Fell in love with coaching. Football is a part of who I am, but it's also an opportunity for me to be able to give back and give these kids an opportunity at Rolling Meadows High School to understand what they could do as a group.
The Sports Cubicle. Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on WCPT.
Porsche, power within your grasp. Feel the rush and find your new Porsche at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Browse and test drive our extensive selection like the 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease the 2025 Macan Electric for only $1049 a month for 39 months. Visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. 8,992 with signing. Excludes tax, title, license, and dock fee. No security deposit required. Expires 7/31/2025.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. Many know of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but few know of his right-hand man, Bayard Rustin. Rustin was born in 1912, raised by his grandparents, who taught him the Quaker values of peace and nonviolence. In college, Rustin grew an interest in socialism, joining the Fellowship of Reconciliation, working with them for 10 years before Rustin was fired and arrested for being caught having sexual relations with another man in a parked car. But his time there wasn't for nothing, as it was there he met A. Philip Randolph, who convinced Rustin to meet with Dr. King during the Montgomery bus boycott. Rustin, along with writings from Gandhi, urged Dr. King to accept pacifism as a way of life. Rustin showed brilliant strategies and organization skills, which led to him organizing the March on Washington, having thousands of people attend. However, this partnership would not last as Dr. King distanced himself from Rustin after Congressman Powell threatened to use Rustin's sexual orientation against Dr. King. Rustin continued to work with Randolph for civil rights and gay rights until his death in 1987. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along on another swampy Sunday.
Yes. A lot of humidity out there.
Hey, this week on Choose Views, Richard's guests will include Enrico Mowat, Director of Brand Partnerships at Mirror Digital, political analyst Rachel Bidekoffer, and Dr. Annie Andrews, candidate for Senate against Lindsey Graham, and more. Choose Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, tune in, YouTube, and the Face Place. Look, I there was something central. We're talking about the Central Time Zone, but Comedy Central is like, girl, did you see the season season premiere of season 27
We watched
of
it
South
yesterday.
Girl. I love them so much. And it reminded me of the last great movie musical of the 20th century, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Because you had Satan there, you had the other Satan there, yes. You had Satan's little tiny wee there. Okay, I love that this came out after a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount Plus, that they were like, all right, they're taking Colbert off the air because they're coming for the comedians, because comedians hold truth to power, right, and all things up. And it was scorched earth.
Oh, was it ever?
It was amazing.
I couldn't believe it. I loved it.
I know. I kept saying, like, Jerry, we got to watch this. He's like, I haven't watched South Park in forever. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll just watch this. And we watched it like Friday night. And he was like, what? What? Yes. So and there's been so many weird think pieces about it as well. Like, the New York Times had a really interesting piece about how, yes, of course, the jokes were like really hard and crass, and they were coming for ding dong.
Yeah, they were.
And ding dong's ding dong, in most of it. But the character that people were focusing on was Cartman, who is basically the embodiment of white grievance. You know, the character itself. He's over the years, he's always been just like, you know, he says the racist things, the sexist things, the homophobic, like he says all of those, and the characters react to that. And he spent his entire journey of that episode like, they canceled NPR. What are we going to do now? Like, there are no more lesbians and Jews to laugh at.
Right.
You know, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, he's like, my life is not worth living because woke is now dead, and there's nothing for me to hate now. You know,
that was interesting thing.
It was just really, and they're kind of like, that's kind of where we are as a country, because people are not able to, like, the hatred that is so easily flaunted or whatever just does not seem to be going over as well with MAGA folk and everything. And then especially with all of this stuff that's going on, the thing that will not die, thankfully, the whole Epstein files are not going away. I mean, you even got like Speaker of the House Johnson started the recess early just so they didn't have to talk about it.
They're maniacal.
It's just bananas, though. It's like, okay, this is something that you ran on. You keep wanting to talk about like promises made, promises kept. This is like, we're going to expose blah, 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 you know, all of that stuff. And now here they have their chance and they're not doing it. So apparently there's nothing to see. And thank God we haven't gone back to like the 2016 news commentary phrase "nothing burger," because that just drove me crazy. But there's nothing here to see, blah blah blah.
No there.
There's no there there. Yeah, which I love is also, you know, like a Gertrude Stein quote. So like, bring on a lesbian. There's no there.
No.
Yeah, and yet, but he doesn't seem to know that there's nothing there to see. And yet, when he was asked, he's like, "Well, Clinton's name is mentioned 28 times."
Yeah, how many times is your name mentioned?
But if there's nothing there, how would he know that?
No, that's true.
You know,
there's no names.
There's no names. There's nothing's going on here. It's this whole thing is. It's amazing how people are just not letting it go, and I think it's just going to get worse over the next month. It
seems to be the one nonpartisan thing that seems to be sticking.
Yeah, well, but then there's also all this weird stuff going on with Gelatine, with Gelatine Maxwell, who's like, her folks are like, we want to pardon. Because I don't want to be in prison for 20 years. And now some people, Newsmax in particular, is like, well, is she just the real victim?
Really?
A convicted child sex trafficker is the victim here?
I heard a Republican congressman on CNN coming in this morning that doesn't want to see her pardoned.
Good.
Maybe
good. She shouldn't be.
Maybe immunity, but you know, she's a convicted. She did perjury when she was on the stand. She's a convicted sex trafficker. I mean, she is everything that they supposedly think that the Democrats are loaded with. And to see him consider a pardon for her, that's not going to wash with a lot of the MAGAs. It's just not. This is a real hot button. This could be the one thing. This could be the thing. I know I'm always optimistic, but this could be the thing. I mean, even Marjorie Taylor Greene has spoken out. You know, I mean, some of his more fervent supporters are like, they want to see this, and they know that there'll be collateral damage, but they also because they want to see because they know there's Democrats on there too, probably. Oh, yeah. But this is the one thing I think that is very interesting because he is looking like when he talks about it, it's so obvious that he is hiding something, that he doesn't want it to come out, that he is incriminated. It's so obvious. And it doesn't take a brain scientist to know that he is guilty of sin on this. If you just listen to him. Oh, well, all of the other distractions that they're trying to do. It's like, so all right, obvious. You know what? This is coming out. What do? Let's blame Obama. Yeah, and Biden. I mean, it's preposterous. So let's keep the pressure on, the memes, the photos, let's keep it going. Let's just keep the Epstein files top of mind awareness on your social media, everywhere, because it's not going away, I don't think. No, I don't think so either. And what is the name? It's that one dude, I think he's from Oklahoma. What's his name? Waters, who is like
He just, well, I mean, this person.
Is he a Republican?
He is.
And what did he?
And he's an Oklahoma guy. There was like porn on his TV during a board meeting thing. Not a queer person, not a trans
Happily married man
person,
with many
a
children, I'm
cisgender, gun-toting, Bible-thumping Trumper was like, yeah, there's this, and there's no apologies for it from him. I mean, it's like the hypocrisy is just still kind of astounds me.
And the interview that that Todd Blanche, who is Trump's personal attorney, who's now he's the deputy.
He's the second in charge.
He spent 6 hours interviewing her one day, and I don't know how many hours the next day.
Like 3.
And nope, it seems so scandalous. It seems so like, what are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish?
I have no idea, because why are you talking to the person who committed the crime? Why aren't you talking to the people who were the victims and survivors of these crimes?
Yeah, well, are they
checking on their well-being?
Are they like schooling her on only mentioning certain people if she comes out? Like, you can't talk about these, but you're going to talk about them, and we're going to go over it again. What are they going over with her? She'll do anything to get immunity or clemency.
Of course.
It's just the fact that he has so many loyalists surrounding him and no guardrails. This is what frightens me so much.
And this is also why, like, another thing that just gives me a little Scooby-Doo moment of like, wait a second. Again, your whole thing was like Pizzagate. There's a child sex trafficking ring happening in the basement of a pizza parlor.
Hot button issue.
That, the trans people in bathrooms are really there just to be sexual predators. What's going on there for
our children in the bathrooms.
Meanwhile, you have somebody who is a convicted sex trafficker. They are not talking to the victims who were children, some as young as 14. With this whole thing, and so should all these names come out, especially on the GO, like it's going to be on both sides. It's going to be a mess for a lot of people. But good. Yeah. But we need the truth. But we need the truth, and I think where I'm worried about, and I think it's what you're saying as well, is that we might not get all of the truth.
When he's concerned, truth. It's a foreign object to him. I mean, let's face it. Truth and Donald Trump do not go together. He's just says whatever he feels is going to further his power and his cause, which is power and money. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
And whatever we do, we can't make her a victim. I mean, we can't. Of the justice.
No. Oh my gosh.
Gelatine. Gelatine. That is, yes. She is nothing but horse hooves and a little bit of fruit flavor. We should probably take a break. While Congress takes a break. But speaking of Congress, our next guest is actually running for Congress.
Yes,
please stick around. We're going to be speaking with Illinois State Senator Mike Simmons. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Tom Hartman.
Autocrats generally, particularly those autocrats who have narcissistic personality disorder and are sociopaths, as is, in my opinion, Trump, typically do not tolerate high-profile people around them. They want to be the star of the show, and that's certainly been the history of Donald Trump. The only people that he will tolerate around him are people who, when he says, kiss my ass, they fall to their knees.
The Tom Hartman radio program, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Is your upper floor too hot in the summer? Are energy bills climbing with every degree? Green Attic can help. With over 15 years of experience and more than 1,000 five-star reviews, Green Attic is a trusted Chicagoland name for insulation, ventilation, and roofing solutions that improve comfort, energy efficiency, and indoor air quality. They specialize in attic insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulation, mold remediation, and solar attic fan installation, all designed to keep your home cooler in the warmer months. Green Attic also offers full-service roofing through Green Attic Roofing, including traditional and solar roofing systems with instant online quotes and long-lasting, eco-friendly materials. Green Attic backs its work with the industry's only 10-year labor warranty, plus lifetime warranties on selected materials. Schedule a free installation consultation at greenattic.com or get an instant roofing quote at greenatticroofing.com. That's greenattic.com and greenatticroofing.com.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
I'm Amanda Civitello with Creating Iris. Welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along here.
Yes,
and look, let me tell you, we here are huge fans of Illinois State Senator Mike Simmons. And lucky for all of us here in Illinois, he has announced that he is throwing his hat into the race for Congress. And joining us now is none other than Senator Mike Simmons. Senator, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am lovely. I'm lovely. Summertime in Chicago, and I'm running for Congress.
I know, right?
Any better?
Well, and let me tell you, Senator, you have had a busy summer so far. What have you been up to on this lovely, lovely season?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. State Senator Mike Simmons, so proud to be running for Congress to represent our communities in the 9th District, the seat that's being vacated by Jan Schakowsky. And I just want to say, if I were to win this seat, I would be only the third openly gay and black person ever elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm here for it. We're here for it. We can do this.
Yeah. So this is like a real basic question, but I think it's one that's important to ask. It's just simple. It's why run for U.S. Congress?
Right now, so many of our communities are being swallowed alive. So whether you're talking about immigrants and refugees, I'm the son of an asylum seeker from Ethiopia, and I know what it feels like to be persecuted and targeted by the government because you're an immigrant or related to immigrants. When we look at what's happening with LGBTQ youth, trans youth that are being targeted, LGBTQ communities being erased from our history books, these are struggles that directly impact communities across the 9th District. When you look at the attack on our economic rights and our rights to unionize, low-wage workers continuing to struggle 2 and 3 jobs on the far north side of Chicago and north suburbs while not being able to afford housing, double-digit rent increases, young families that can't find their first homes. I'm running for Congress to fight for those folks. I want to champion the people that are in our neighborhoods, places like Andersonville and Rogers Park, Uptown, Evanston, Skokie, Morton Grove, Niles, parts of McHenry and Lake County are just the same things that we're hearing around people struggling to survive, and I want to fight for them.
Yeah, well,
Amen.
And I've been a Jan fan for an entire career there, so those are some very big and noble shoes to be filling. But if I know anybody who's up for that task, it is you, Senator, because you've been such a productive and effective member of the Illinois State Senate. You've gotten so much legislation passed. What are some of the pieces of legislation that you feel most proud of?
Proudest legislation is in my first year in 2021 in the Illinois Senate, I read a story about a 4-year-old black child who had been suspended from school because his mother braided his hair. Yeah. Literally told by a principal that his hair was illegal in the school. So I immediately took action and wrote legislation. We named it after the boy, the Jed Hawkins Act. It was a big fight. We got it passed 6 months after I was sworn into the Senate. It was one of my first big bills. And I'm so proud of that because, we must fight for our kiddos. We must fight for our young people. That's really in my heart and important to me, and I'm so proud of the Jed Hawkins Act. I also was able to, one of my first bills I introduced when I came to the Senate in 2021 was a bill to create the child tax credit. It took 3 years, but I was able to lead the fight to create the very first child tax credit in Illinois, putting money back in the pockets of our single moms, single parents. You asked me earlier what about up to this weekend. I've just been out talking to voters all day.
You are everywhere, and you're just. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you're busy.
Oh no, I was just saying. Every time I'm out, talking to voters in the 9th District, I always try to think at the end of the day, what are 2 or 3 salient things I heard. And I got to tell you, I talked to a single mother, a white woman actually, who lives in Westridge yesterday, who grew up not far from where I grew up and has 2 adult kids. One of them is at a a really good college, just like I was able to do. My mother, as a working woman in this community, was able to work hard and get me to a good school. And she says she's afraid she's going to have to move out of the 9th District, that she's feeling priced out after 18 years of being a renter. Like, we owe her more than that. We owe her more than that, and I'm proud that child tax credit I got passed helps to put money back in the pockets of moms like her, and also moms like my mom and so many other moms and struggling parents all across this district who are busting their behinds to take care of their families.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. I mean, I live in the North Side, and costs are going up, taxes are going up, landlords are increasing their rents, and it is a big problem, and it's a tough problem. And I'm glad that you're compassionate about that woman, because people are just trying to live their lives and and live in the home that they've enjoyed for so many years. Let me ask you this about the LGBTQ community. What do you think is the biggest challenge that Illinois LGBTQ plus residents are facing now and will face in the coming years?
Honestly, and I say this as a gay man who, my LGBTQ identity is the greatest gift that I could have in this life. I can't imagine not being gay. I can't imagine not being a part of the extended and resplendent queer community, such a proud part of who I am in my life. I think the biggest threat is just our basic existence. Mm-hmm. Our basic existence is at threat right now. We made such rapid progress just in my lifetime, right, in the last 20 years, between the years of 2000 and 2020. The LGBTQ community had made so many advances, and somebody used the word yesterday, a constituent, gobsmacked back into the past, right? Literally feel like we are like rolling back decades, not years, not election cycles, but decades in terms of how we're targeted, in terms of the type of policies that have been introduced all across the country in various state legislatures that seek to put queer people out of history books, out of classrooms, out of the economy, and out of the basic frameworks of democracy. And that is something I will walk through the fire to protect our communities, right? If nothing else, that is the first order of business for me as potentially an LGBTQ member of Congress.
Oh, amen to that. I mean, that's so important. And as you say, they're trying to whitewash and straightwash the books, the education. I mean, we made so many advances in the last few years, and now with who and his administration and of cruel and hateful folks, it's just heartbreaking to see that they want to erase us, because that is indeed what we're feeling. I mean, luckily here in Chicago we're fighting hard and we're in a little different situation, but the whole country, and as a congressperson, you're on a national front there, so your voice is needed, Mike Simmons. Your voice is needed in Congress. Has Jan Schakowsky endorsed anybody yet for her position?
No, she has not, and she's indicated that she does not plan to endorse this race.
I kind of felt that was probably the case.
I mean, that seems like her.
Yeah. She wants to leave it up to the people. Okay.
Yeah. So, Senator, one thing that's, as Ellen was saying, just talking about the books, that are being pulled, you were also part of the legislation that was like trying to prevent books from being banned in public libraries, I believe.
Yeah. So I was the chief co-sponsor of the legislation that we passed out of the General Assembly in 2023 that outlaws book banning in our public library. So that was a big step forward for our state. I also have been leading the fight for another bill that would do the exact same thing for school classrooms. So, there still are school districts that, conceivably can remove books from school classrooms based on any number of objections. My bill that I've been championing in the Illinois Senate would put together protections for communities that have been targeted in school classrooms, particularly with the new Supreme Court decision that was handed down at the end of June, which basically allows parents to filibuster LGBTQ folks out of the classroom if they object to it. And that's legislation that is vital. I've talked to my colleagues and said, I predicted that Supreme Court decision would be handed down last month, and my legislation is badly needed, and we're going to continue to fight for it both at the state level and if I get elected to Congress at the national level.
Right. So as you are getting ready to throw your hat into your hat is already thrown into the ring. Because you were such a champion for so many groups of folks, just citizens. What are going to be your chief tenets as you are building your platform for running for Congress?
Yeah. So first is that we need housing for all. Housing for all. Mm-hmm. Housing for all. When we talk about double-digit rent increases in the 9th District and places like Uptown, Rogers Park, even into places like Evanston and Skokie, people are experiencing rent increases that are causing long-time residents even to have to move out of our communities. We have to have housing for all. When we talk about students graduating from our community colleges, places like Truman Community College and Oakton Community College, Northwestern, Loyola, with $40,000 and $50,000 in student loans, young families who then can't purchase their first home because they can't find anything that they can afford. Mm-hmm. We have to have a strong champion for housing, and that I will be that champion for our community in Congress. The second thing is transit for all. We must boost public transit. We need a champion for public transit right now. We're in a situation in northern Illinois where we could have 40,000 bus and train operators receive pink slips next month because the Illinois General Assembly has not acted on this issue. And the anxiety that our public transit riders use, right? I talk about, what about immigrant mothers that live in Uptown that are already taking 2 hours to commute out to the collar counties to work in a call center or, in a restaurant, who barely can pay their bills, right? I need them to have dependable transit, and I'm going to be a champion for those families in Congress. The other part of my platform is mental health parity. We need someone in Congress that is going to champion the issue of mental health. It is to the point now where more people are struggling in isolation and with depression and anxiety than perhaps we've ever seen in this country. And I think we need a reset on mental health at the local and national level, and we need true champions that are willing to talk about it and are willing to act on this issue.
Like I said, you are the champion for so many folks, and the work that you have done here in the Illinois State Senate, again, has just been absolutely remarkable. One of the most effective legislators I've encountered.
We'd like to see you carry it on to the Congress.
Right?
Thank you.
So how can folks support your campaign at this moment?
Yeah, so folks should go to www.mikesimmons.org. MikeSimmons.org. That's my campaign website for Congress. Read up the Meet Mike section. Read up about who I am. Read about my family. I want folks to really get a sense for who I am and who has shaped me, and I think they'll see that in that website. Then I want folks to go to the donate button and make a small contribution, because this is a grassroots campaign, and we're going to have to raise money so that we can have our volunteers out there. We can make sure that we have a good, strong campaign office and just all the resources you need to reach 750,000 people across a congressional district. And then I'd like people to follow me on Instagram at Senator Mike Simmons. Is my link or my Instagram for my congressional campaign. If you're on Blue Sky, go find me at Mike Simmons IL. I'm on Blue Sky, and I'm also on TikTok at Mike Simmons IL.
You're like Visa. You're everywhere I want to be, and I want to tell everybody, please dig into Senator Mike Simmons if you haven't encountered him before. Just a stand-up human being and an incredible legislator, and we would wish nothing but the best for you.
Yes, indeed.
The door is always open if you've got an event or something coming up in the next year or so.
Don't hesitate.
Please, we would love to help you out as any way that we can. Again, it is MikeSimmons.org, and then follow on all the socials. Senator Mike Simmons, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for all of the tireless work that you have done during your tenure in the Illinois State Senate, and best of luck as you launch on this campaign for Congress.
Thank you so much, and everybody should also sign up on my website to volunteer also, so make sure you sign up and volunteer.
Volunteer, you'll get a groovy sign. I bet you. I love the signs because it looks like your hair. Senator Mike Simmons, have a fantastic day. We've got to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back. It is the second hour about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Around the Town, Chicago, with Al Betzloff.
Oh, that's Jan. Okay. That's Jan Chakowski is going to be calling it. So
from Evanston.
Yeah. Jan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Do you know the answer to our quiz?
Just because you're you, we want to send you something. You're going to get a gift certificate to go to Stacked and Folded in Evanston and have some food.
Thank you. And as long as it's not a bribe, I can accept it.
Sunday afternoons at 1 on WCPT 820.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
From the heart of Chicago, it's WCPT 820. Progressive Talk Radio, where facts matter and voices fight for change. WCPT 820.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carton. President Trump is set to meet the head of the European Union for trade talks in Scotland today. The meeting with European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen comes days ahead of the August 1st trade deadline. Trump has said there's a 50-50 chance of the U.S. and the EU will reach the framework of a deal. The president has threatened to impose 30% tariffs on the EU, and European leaders have been considering countermeasures. Israel says it's pausing fighting in some areas of the Gaza Strip so humanitarian aid can reach Palestinians. An IDF spokesperson says it will observe a tactical pause from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily in areas where the military is not operating until further notice. Here's NBC's Ralph Sanchez.
We are now at the point where children are starving to death in increasingly large numbers. The images coming out of Gaza unbearable, the emaciated bodies it's being held by their parents.
More than 100 aid trucks began moving into Gaza from Egypt following today's announcement. The decision comes amid growing international outrage over rising deaths and reports of widespread starvation. Fighting continues between Cambodia and Thailand despite U.S. calls for a ceasefire. President Trump said Saturday that both the Southeast Asian nations had agreed to a ceasefire in their border dispute, but skirmishes flared up along the front line again today. Thailand's acting prime minister said they agreed in principle to a ceasefire, but that it will happen only when Cambodia reaches out to them for direct negotiations. A Kansas City sheriff's deputy has been killed in a standoff with a barricaded suspect. The Wyandotte County deputy was hit by gunfire around 3 p.m. Saturday after responding to a fight on South 30th Street in Kansas City. The suspect was shot after barricading himself in a house for about 2 hours and is in stable condition. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
You've been working hard all day and didn't have time to catch up on the news during work.
And that phone just wouldn't stop.
We've got you covered. Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
We will fight as many places and as many times as it takes to get this power back.
Joan Esposito, afternoons from 2 to 5 p.m. WCPT 820. Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
Hold on a second. I'm going to take this on the air. Hey, Steve Lessman, this is Patty Vasquez. We're live on the air. Are you really calling me? Is the sales department calling me live on the air? Hey, Steve. Steve, you're on the air.
Did they make it?
You've done that to me. You could know Art from WCPT.
Why are they calling you?
I have no idea. He just saw me in the hallway. Come on now.
Patty Vasquez, weeknights 5 to 7 on WCPT 820.
The far left's anti-ICE riots.
Republicans are so dumb. Because at WCPT, we go to Riot Fest to riot, baby! Riot Fest is back in Douglas Park, September 19th through the 21st. Come see all your favorite bands, Blink-182, Alkaline Trio, Weird Al Yankovic, Weezer, Green Day, and many more. Tickets are still on sale at riotfest.org, but lucky for you, if you join the WCPT 820 Club, WCPT will send you to Riot Fest! Riot Fest, September 19th through the 21st at Douglas Park in Chicago.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
Welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along.
Yeah, we are. That was a fast first hour.
I know, we got some politics out of the way. Now we can get into the good artsy-fartsy stuff, which I just love so much. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to be speaking with rising country music star Brooke Eden. She's going to be performing at Market Days coming up. And right now, so gooped, so gagged right now because waiting on the phone is... Y'all, you need to run, don't walk to Steppenwolf Theater because critically acclaimed drag queen, visual artist, speaker, illustrator, author, and winner of RuPaul Drag Race Season 9, Sasha Velour is coming there this weekend, the 1st through the 3rd, for a special show. And joining us right now is none other than Sasha Velour. Sasha, welcome to Out Chicago.
Hey, Scott. Hi, Ellen. Thanks for that glowing introduction.
Girl, look, here's the thing. I have a problem with bursting into tears.
I gotta try and keep
whenever I talk to somebody who I just absolutely adore. One might say I'm so emotional, but I am so thrilled to be speaking with you. You are one of the most brilliant. I was saying this earlier. I was comparing you to Beck earlier in the show. You are an artist, and you are doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing, and I thank you for that.
Thank you so much. I needed that encouragement on this fine day.
Oh,
so thank you for that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, for folks out there who might not know, how did you get your start in drag?
The most roundabout way imaginable. I was literally laying out books for a comic book publishing company, and I just could not stop dreaming of drag numbers on my commute to work. And eventually I started entering little competitions around the city. I really got my foot in the door by publishing a magazine all about drag artists that I loved, connecting drag artists with illustrators, and then that magazine launched a party, and then that kicked off my drag career, and I ended up auditioning for Drag Race, and the rest, I guess, is history. It's 10 years ago now.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. Look, I saw you in the Smoke and Mirrors tour when you came through Chicago at the Vic a couple years ago.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
It was so much fun, Sasha Velour. It was amazing. again, this just kind of reinforces like you are an artist to the core. You are trained as an illustrator. You've got this beautiful aesthetic with your drag. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but how would you describe a Sasha Velour show?
People tell me that they are really visually exciting, and I love that part. I like to say, I don't have the comedic or dancing or singing background of some of my peers, so I like to make the whole stage gorgeous as a way of communicating what maybe my body or my voice can't do. But I'm learning to dance, I'm learning to sing, I'm learning to be funny. And I think drag really is an art form. Like,
100%.
It hits on so many different levels. The visual, the storytelling, the political matter is there, but it's also really fun and escapist. And our main goal is always to entertain and to move the audience. So to me, it's just the perfect art form, and I'm just trying to do my best job at creating the excellent drag that people can love. I'm a reveal queen.
Yes.
I got known for my rose petal reveal, stuffing, hundreds of rose petals under my wig.
Yes,
I have no idea what you're talking about. All about it.
Oh my God.
Before the show, Sasha. I was just picturing it. It just sounds phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you have to imagine how nerve-wracking that was, having never officially tried it. When you come see my show, you can trust it's very well rehearsed.
I'm sure it is.
Although sometimes inspiration comes from the most wild places.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, rose petals falling from your head. First of all, I am a sweaty woman. How did they not just stick to your head?
They do. They absolutely do. They always do. I do a tribute to that in this show coming to Steppenwolf,
which is the big reveal.
Confetti. The big reveal, and there are many. It lives up to its name. Many different kinds of reveals, not just wig reveals. There's every single kind I could think of. And I always say the best reveals, they don't just surprise you, but they have to create an emotional experience and kind of make sense.
Yeah.
You're in a different emotional place on the other side of it. And I feel like even the stupidest reveals in this show, one spoiler, because it's already been shared all over the internet, is I start the show by revealing out of an armchair in a living room.
Yes.
And it's such a stupid idea, so silly, but ultimately, I feel like it's still kind of moving because it's like a story about this armchair that just wants to have a little bit more freedom and mobility in its life. It wants to do the sitting sometimes as well as being sat on.
Right.
So as stupid as that is, there's heart. There's so much heart in everything I do, for better or for worse.
Oh, there 100% is. Are you... So the at least with the Smoke and Mirrors tour, the soundtrack is just incredible. The images are completely wackadoodle. Do you do all of your illustration? Do you do all of your projections, or how is that working these days?
Yeah, I get to work with lots of different people to help make the vision as exciting as possible. I work with great costume designers like Diego Montoya, who has an Emmy for his costume design, and I worked with some video artists like Vander Von Odd, who's another incredible drag performer, Sweaty Eddie, both drag performers who do their own video work and animation. But the original idea and the final edit, I always do myself, just because I love it so much. I sketch out every costume, I sketch out the stage picture, make a plan, I choose all the music. Smoke and Mirrors was really my tribute to the divas. My last show had Barbra Streisand and Annie Lennox and Shirley Bassey. This show has Stevie Wonder and Deep Purple and some John Coltrane. I've wanted to push the limits of what a drag lip sync can be set to.
Well, yeah, and because everything, as you were saying, with each big reveal, you end up in a different emotional place. You are constantly evolving as an artist and evolving the art of drag. look, everybody out there, you need to get tickets to go see this incredible performer, because it's also when you do have those moments to connect with the audience in between numbers, or you're a really wonderful storyteller, and
thank you.
Yes, my heart is full.
It's full. Sasha, was there ever a moment that you can think of when in your drag career that felt like a personal, like a turning point for you? Was there one specific moment?
There's been quite a few, I guess. Maybe that's lucky, or I'm just a person who's always seeing the revolution happening around me. But certainly winning RuPaul's Drag Race was a big, oh my God, what is happening moment in my life.
For sure.
And then I think getting to come back from COVID, where I did not work for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I was writing a book during that time.
Good timing.
But I really wasn't sure if I would get to do stage performances again.
Yeah.
And to get to do, this is my second tour. It is even bigger than the first. We're doing like almost 100 performances in like 13 plus countries of this tour now.
Wow.
And just to be able to share, to keep doing what I love, like, every single time I get to do another performance of this show, my own work, self-produced and taken all over the world, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
You're grateful. You're grateful.
Who knows how long these things will last?
Well,
Who knows how long these things will last? So I throw myself fully into it every time.
Well, it shows. And also, you have a little bit of history here in Illinois. You lived in Urbana, I understand, for a while. How did that experience shape you?
Oh, so much. My house was right at the edge of town, and I would walk through the cornfields pretending it was a runway. I always imagined I was living an alternate life there, as much as I loved it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of opportunities for theater in a small town like Urbana, Champaign-Urbana. And so I got to do theater even though I didn't necessarily have the gift or didn't imagine myself pursuing it as professionally as I've ended up doing. So I have to thank the good people of Champaign-Urbana for teaching me so much that I know about making art.
Did you come to Chicago as a young person ever? Did you come up to see?
Yeah, I came up to see plays. I came to Steppenwolf twice and got to see shows there, and it was like the highest level of art that I had ever seen.
Wow.
So to get to bring my silly drag show there is a wild experience.
Oh, it's a full circle dream come true.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is not a silly drag show. It is not a silly drag show. It is a joyful experience. That is what I'm saying.
It can be both.
It can be both. Both are true.
We want the full range.
But they're true, but I'm just saying, like, it really is just, it is wonderful and fantastic. So your time in Urbana, Champaign-Urbana, do you think that helped you when you were on We're Here on HBO, having that small town experience?
Yes, so much. I always stuck out like a sore thumb, even though I'm from a small town. And so getting to find, there's people like that all over the world.
Yeah.
People who live in small towns who, people look askance at them, but they live there and they belong there and they want to have community and belonging. And so I think it was interesting to experience that and to see how it, because I left when I was a teenager because I felt like I couldn't belong.
Right.
So to get to really say, no, we should, queer people who want to live big, outlandish lives and be loud about politics and who we are, we should be able to exist anywhere. And that there are people like us everywhere, so there's no reason we have to go running.
Yeah.
It was really emotional.
That is a really special show, and just for I think for folks, especially who live in smaller communities, to see the kind of impact, just the joy and living in your true self. It's got to be heartening to be a part of that.
It was heartening to connect with the people like us, and it was frightening to see how much hatred and misinformation there is about queer and trans people. And I think there's this feeling, especially when you go to Tennessee and Oklahoma or even rural Illinois, that it's getting worse in some ways. And so I feel like that's why it's so important to see queer people taking part in art and coming to theater and being on television and shows like RuPaul's Drag Race still existing. It's like we need to share the truth and the goodness of our community and the kind of work we create now more than ever.
Yeah, and that is what you certainly do. And look, you do everything. That's, you're a drag queen, visual artist,
graphic designer,
you're illustrator, you're an author of The Big Reveal, an illustrated manifesto of drag. Like, so was the book... And was that just kind of like the next logical step in your artistic journey, or was it clearly like, oh, it's COVID, I got to write, I'm doing something,
I started it before.
Okay.
Well, I really wanted to write like a drag queen's history of the art form, because we don't know these stories very well, where we come from, the fact that this is an ancient art form that has been around forever. But I think people wanted my memoir, so I decided to write both of them combined. And I found actually writing the history of drag kind of through the window of me learning about it as a young person, desperate to find where I belonged in the world. That was like the best story I could have created. And it definitely inspired this show, and probably more to come.
Did you? It was really fun. Yeah, what surprised you the most when you were writing the book? Because it's such a different medium, I mean, it's very intimate.
Yeah. Writing is hard. To everyone who is a writer out there, it's very hard to put together thoughts. I love getting to put together visuals, because you can kind of say so much at one moment. You really have to put it in order when you're writing it. I don't know that I have a linear mind at all, but as you can see from reading the book. But I was really shocked, because I dug into some home video of myself that my dad like pulled out the camera every Hanukkah and filmed me for like a week. And just from those moments, I have this archive of what a like queer little kid I was before I knew what that was or had seen anyone like me. And that was like the ultimate. I had not remembered it to that degree. Sure. And that was the ultimate proof that this really is natural. And right at the height of the fears around exposing young people to drag, like heaven forbid, I realized I was a young kid who was doing drag and would have loved to see that was a thing that adults take part in too. Yeah. I would have made so much more sense to myself and to my family and to the people around me if I had known drag existed. Sure. So.
Oh, I know, but also
that was really powerful.
But then also the journey that you've been on since then too. Like you're such an inspiration. Just from an artistic point of view, just watching what you do is just phenomenal. I cannot wait to get to Steppenwolf this weekend to see the big reveal show. I'm going to be there on Friday. I got my tickets.
Yay!
I am so ready to go.
I'm going to be out of town, or I would be there too.
Goosebumps,
Sasha.
just even thinking about it right now. I'm holding up to the camera so people can see. Said goosebumps. I'm very excited and very grateful that you took time out today to speak with us, Sasha Velour. Because people are going to buy all the tickets at steppenwolf.org. How can people follow you on social media and bask more in the glamour and intrigue that is Sasha Velour?
It's at Sasha Velour on Instagram and SashaVelour.com, my website. You can sign up for my newsletter. I only send it out a couple times a year, but it has all the important information. Lots more shows coming this fall, and then a brand new tour that's going to start next year. So lots to keep an eye out for.
Fantastic.
So excited! Oh my gosh. All right, Sasha Velour, drag queen extraordinaire. Thank you so much for joining us today, and break all the legs. We'll see you on this weekend.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Ellen. Thanks for having me in a great convo.
Great to have you,
much love to you guys and your audience.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, what a doll.
I know. I knew she would be.
Did not disappoint.
And I'm telling you, run, don't walk to Steppenwolf.
Yes. I wish I was going to be in
I
town.
know. Ellen, you should be a little sad.
I am.
About that.
I'm a lot sad.
I know. But let me tell you. Well, listen, I'm going to be gooped and gagged as we go into
She'll be back.
She'll be back.
Those of you that have a chance, go see her this weekend.
I know, but we need to take a break, and then we'll be back
Yes, we will.
With rising country music star Brooke Eden, who's coming in for Market Days next week. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
The Hal Sparks radio program.
P-Train.
I think that was meant to be a compliment and sounds a little bit like an insult. I think the idea is that he got more relationships than he deserved at one point. And somebody was trying to yeah, man, we'll give you a cool nickname to sell the idea that you are our local Casanova.
Wow. Hal Sparks, Saturdays from 11 to 1 on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Porsche, power within your grasp. Feel the rush and find your new Porsche at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Browse and test drive our extensive selection like the 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease the 2025 Macan Electric for only $1049 a month for 39 months. Visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. $8,992 with signing. Excludes tax, title, license, and dock fee. No security deposit required. Expires 7/31/2025.
Are you tired of talking to yourself? We can get you an audience on the radio. You can produce and host your own radio show on one of our 2 stations. Please call 773-792-1121. That's 773-792-1121 and ask for Mark. Limited space available.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. The COVID-19 pandemic showed the bravery, dedication, and intelligence our doctors and nurses had, regardless of their gender. However, this was not always the case. Back in the 1800s, the idea of a woman doctor was laughable. When Elizabeth Blackwell applied to Geneva Medical College, the students voted on whether or not to accept women into their school. The students agreed to it as a joke, thinking it would be funny to see women fail in their field. Elizabeth felt compelled to become a doctor after a conversation with a dying friend who told her that her ordeal had been that much worse because her physicians were all men. Many of her fellow students and the town shunned her, and one professor tried to scare her out of his class. Regardless, Elizabeth stayed determined and graduated, but after, the dean of her school said he did not wish for more women to enroll. Despite the sexist discrimination, Elizabeth contributed to the first generation of women doctors in America and even opened up her own hospital. And in 2017, for the first time ever, a majority of medical students in the United States were women. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Hi, my name is Amy Sumter. I'm a comedian as well as She's Crafty, and you are listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller. We're just rolling along. I'm still basking in the glow.
Yes. You just showed me the clip of
Sasha Velour
doing her reveal with the rose petals under her wig.
Girl,
it was very special.
Okay, you need to watch the
whole thing.
The whole thing. It is a magical moment. And watching her on stage, the way she interacts with the projections, because the last tour, the Smoke and Mirrors tour, there would be 5 of her up there doing that. It was she's just
wow, very talented and very nice.
And very nice. I'm getting a little text message from Jerry saying she was really great.
Yeah, both of our spouses wrote in. They love the interview.
This was really great. What a sweetheart is what they said.
Yeah.
And speaking of sweetheart, Monday on Driving It Home, Patty Vasquez will be joined by Dr. Jason Busel, Director of Chicago Community Acupuncture, and I like this lady, Janice Rodriguez, producer of the Latina Comedy Festival. It's happening in October, and Patty's going to be one of the headliners there. Also, Jenny Karotko, also known as the Approachable Healer, Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And also, I do want to take this little time out right now to remind folks that you can listen to, you can rate, and you can share the Out Chicago full episodes and featured interviews podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Amazon Music. All you got to do is just search for Out Chicago or get the links on our show page by visiting heartlandsignal.com and clicking on the adorable picture of our little faces there. The latest additions to our featured interview cast are Chilena Kennedy, star of Billie Jean, which just opened this week at Chicago Shakespeare.
Go see it.
Yes, William Lindsay Cochran of Great Moments in Vinyl. We've got folks, Charles I can never pronounce his name. Eskenizer.
There you go.
Charles Eskenizer. He's director of Invictus Theater Company, Chicago's production of Angels in America, and Michael Herman from Chicago House, who's taken up the charge to really,
great people.
what Senator Mike Simmons was talking about, like making sure that people are housed. So that's important. It. It's very important. Hey, just we are experiencing some technical difficulties. We're waiting to hear from our guest, Brooke Eden, who's going to be coming into Northalsted Market Days.
Do you know
which
day she's playing?
I believe it's on Sunday.
Oh, good.
Sunday
That's the day
3rd.
I'm going.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. For a few hours.
I'm like, are you here? I thought, when you get back?
Market Days is the week after next.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the 8th and 9th.
Oh, well, then I did that on the wrong day.
Yeah.
There we
sorry.
are. Oh, well, good.
Yeah,
it's my day, my problem. I wrote the thing down. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Look, this also was a very weird week because, like, everybody famous died.
A lot of folks did.
It was really weird. The one that hit me the biggest was Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Me too. Yeah,
Like,
that was so sad.
Sad and awful.
With his daughter and his wife, and they're just on vacation, and Riptide got him. And one of the things they said was that they had warnings up and whatnot. And, people see high waves. I'm one that loves to be in the water.
Me too.
And when those waves are really high, it says body surf, go play in the waves. And. But I guess they've got some economic issues there in Costa Rica where he passed away, and there were no lifeguards. They were pulled away to another area that was also having people in distress down the beach. And when you hear somebody dying so tragically
and
at a
so young
age, and
he was my age,
and he was from all accounts. I mean, I didn't really delve into his personality that much other than the show, but he seemed like he was a really good guy that was really well liked, and he was a musician as well. He had played with some friends of mine somewhere. I'd seen some pictures on Facebook when they were in New York, and. I agree. That one was
really hard again
really
because
sad.
it was so
really tough,
and it brings up the really complicated legacy of the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Because that show, it changed everything for many, many people.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you had, it was it took the country by storm. You have this at the time, we now know. Much horrible things, but at the time he was like America's dad.
Yeah.
And to have a black man do that, and to have a show that featured a black family. You had mom as a lawyer, dad as a doctor. You have them living an upper middle class life, a life of means, and what sort of example that was.
It was, and if you have friends that are African American who grew up during that period, that show was so integral for them, so important to them, so meaningful for them.
Yeah, it was meaningful.
Like nothing they had ever seen before.
And again, it was what nothing but America had seen before.
No,
Again, it kind of goes back to this whole thing. What a great example when people say, like, she's such a good example, role model for little girls. I'm like, no, she's a good example for little boys, because now they can see that girls can do this.
Yes.
That is like, I can only imagine what sort of touchstone it was for the black community, but for the rest of America to be like, hi, it's not good times.
No.
This is not good times. This is not what's happening. These are like affluent, prominent people in their community. And like that's, it created a new norm.
And I'm sure a lot of them said, that's us. We're finally seeing us on TV.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of like a huge thing. And for Malcolm Jamal Warner to be a part of that legacy, like how wonderful. And,
and he carried on with a good, from what I can understand, he lived a good life.
Oh, he had a lot. Well, he had so many shows that were popping up. A lot of shows. I believe Tracy Ellis Ross played her husband, played his wife. Sorry.
Yes, and yes, I did read that. I was reading everything about him when he,
I know. So we want to thank you so much for what's going on. For all the work that you've done.
Yeah.
So, But speaking of people who are like breaking trails and trailblazing, so right now on the phone, our next guest is a rising country music star and one of CMT's next women of country, Brooke Eden, and she's coming on to Chicago to be a part of Market Days. Hey, Brooke, welcome to Out Chicago.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. How you doing? Where in these great United States are we talking to you?
Oh, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
All righty, there you go. I lived on the other side. I lived in Memphis for a while.
You're based in Nashville now?
Oh, wow, yes. Yeah, I've been here for 10 years now.
Oh, wow, that's home.
All right, come on. Okay, so what's your go-to?
That's right.
What's your go-to hot chicken?
You know, I am not really a huge hot chicken girl, but when I do go, it's got to be like once a year, y'all, because it is like a full commitment.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It will like burn your mouth. Yeah. Even the mild will burn your mouth. But I like Bolton's. It used to be across from my apartment, like back when I moved here, and so I would go over for lunch like once a week.
All right, it's not Prince's. It's not, was it Hattie?
Hattie B's.
Hattie B's,
yep.
yes.
All those places are in our airport now, too, which is so exciting. Like, the line in Nashville is always crazy, but they just put a Prince's in the airport and a Hattie B's.
Well, as you should, you know. I was just in Nashville.
We have a Hattie B's in my neighborhood that's opening any day now, so we don't even have to travel.
Fantastic.
No way.
There we are. Yeah. It should make you feel right at home when you come up here to go for Market Day. It's going to be real close to where you are. Yeah. Look at you. Breaking, shattering glass ceilings and like just being your true self here. I got to say something. Your new single, Giddy Up, girl, that is a bop. Mm-hmm. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. What was your inspiration for this song?
Oh, thank you so much. So I grew up line dancing in the honky tonks in my hometown in Florida. My dad is the drummer in our local like line dancing band. So I started singing with his band when I was literally 5 years old, like Baby in a Bar kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
And seriously.
Yeah.
And I started line dancing with them way back when. And then, you know, I went to college and did the whole thing. And then when I graduated, I came back to my hometown just for a little bit, and I started bartending at our local line dancing bar, and all of those people became my community. Like the line dancing community became my family, my friends. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, everyone in my family line dances, all my friends line dance, and it just is something that feels so like in my blood, like in my DNA. And I had never done a song that was created specifically to line dance to. And it was just kind of like, you know, on the dance floor, everything, like all the differences go away and you're all just like dancing to one song. You're doing one line dance to one song, and it just feels very family and very community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what we need right now. And so, yeah, like that, the LGBTQ plus community has always felt like that to me as well. And I just love the meld that's happening right now between the LGBTQ plus community and the line dancing community.
Speaking of right now and being a part of the LGBTQ plus community, what's life in Nashville like? I know Nashville's like a little bit of a blue, you know, mark in a bluish in a red state. But how is your journey as somebody in country music in a red state, being part of our community? How has that affected you, and how have you managed to deal with all of it?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, it was like really, really, a faux pas. It was like, I met my wife 10 years ago now. And when we, first started dating, I was told you have to keep your secret, your relationship a secret. Otherwise, you're going to lose your whole career. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's terrifying because like being a country singer is all that I ever wanted to do. But also, like, I knew that I deserved to love and be loved. And so we stayed in the closet for 5 years. And I eventually I ended up actually getting physically sick from, like, the mental strain that it was, like, putting on my body. Yeah. And I realized I couldn't do it anymore. And I came out in 2021. And honestly, I have been like, I feel like embraced by the country music, world here, and no one like really shoved me to the side. The fear of coming out was much larger than the actual reality of coming out.
I think that's true for a lot of people. It's our own fear of nobody wants to be felt like they aren't loved, appreciated, like they're going to be vilified for just loving who they want to love. And most of the times, I think when you do come out and your authentic self, you're going to be surprised by how accepting people are of who your true self is. So I'm so glad that you're through that part of the journey.
You and me both, let me tell you. But no, I mean, I feel like we've always felt really comfortable here in Nashville. We'll hold hands out, out and about, and I don't think that we've ever felt, othered here, which is, I think, really important when you're living somewhere. You need to feel safe.
Yeah, 100%. So the time that first of all, thank you for sharing that story, in terms of keeping a relationship closeted when you're such a public persona, and the fact of the physical manifestation of that, thank you for sharing that, because that I think a lot of people don't realize they don't realize how much it really does take on you emotionally and physically of keeping something a secret.
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed?
Absolutely. I felt like I was living two worlds. Yeah. It's like living two lives.
Yeah. So it's but have you noticed like a change in your, like either your songwriting or your performance? Like, have you noticed something that kind of cracked open after 2021?
Oh, literally everything. Coming out for me was like the key to my life. Yeah. Confidence is so much. It's just so different. I've had friends come to shows, friends that I've been friends with for a long time that used to come to my shows before I was out, and then have come recently to my shows. When I wasn't out, they used to come, and now they're coming when I'm out, and they're like, it is crazy. You are a different person on stage. You're so confident and happy. It is really wild when I look at videos of me performing before I was out. I was I was probably cooler back then, I was super mysterious. Right. And
wondering
sultry, and I had a secret, and now I'm just this happy girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's one of those things, too, that you don't have to worry about keeping that secret. You can just worry about focused on the art and the music and what you are doing, and just let that shine.
My actual job.
Yes, right?
And yes. So, and that doesn't even go into, the writing, being able to write as myself and not have to worry about saying the wrong pronoun in a write, it's everything has changed.
So free.
In the best way.
So free. So speaking of your earlier life, I'm one of my guilty pleasures is American Idol. What was your experience like on American Idol? Can you give us any little tidbits or let us know, was it a good experience for you, or did you find it difficult? You weren't out at the time. Was that an issue? How did it go for you?
It was a terrible experience.
Okay, I wondered. You know what? I wondered. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was just back in the day when the judging has changed so drastically, thankfully, since then. But this was back when I was 18, and the judges were still Randy, Paula, and Simon, and their jobs were to and their jobs were to grill you, and so. Yeah, I was 18. I was freshly out of high school. And I remember just not they didn't let you sleep. We would have rehearsals and they'd be like, okay, your rehearsal's at 11 p.m. and you'd stay up till 11 p.m. and then they'd be like, oh, it's not till 2. And you're like, all right, I guess I'll have to stay up till 2. And then they're like, just kidding, yours not till 4:30, and then you have to be up at 6.
Right.
So it's the craziest mental games that they would play with you. And then they're like, perform at your utmost, like perform at your top level and don't like mess it up,
Right, at 18.
Exactly.
But
trial by fire.
18.
Yeah, but what you got through it, and you're stronger for it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't kill you.
Oh, totally. And it totally was like, it kind of was the fire under me that made me go, oh, this is really what I want to do. But all of these people have like dedicated their entire lives to this, and like I'm a freshman in college, you know. And so it made me realize like I wanted to get through school quickly, and then really be able to focus on music 24/7, which is what I have done since then. But I will say I met some of my some friends that I am still very close with at American Idol.
Nice.
And one is Mickey Guyton, who is a country artist in Nashville, and literally we met when we were 18, so because of American Idol. So it's great people I met from that.
Who won your year? Quickly, I forget. Do you remember?
It was David. The top two were David Archuleta and David Cook.
I love it.
And now David Archuleta and I are buds.
There you go.
He's great. He came out too, so fabulous. I love it.
I know. And now you're like conquering the world. You were just at World Pride along with Doechii. Come on.
So wild.
Oh
my gosh, I know. I got to see Doechii live after my performance. It was crazy.
What was that like performing at World Pride?
Oh my gosh. So, I follow politics pretty closely, and, to be in Washington, D.C., playing at World Pride, at a time like this, it just felt so pivotal. It felt so important. And, we were singing, the backdrop of the stage was the Capitol building, like where January 6th happened, which was just so wild to me. And it just felt like a rebellion, and like in such a beautiful way. The crowd was incredible. There were people from all over the world, all these different people from literally the entire, anywhere that you can think of in the world, all different backgrounds, cultures, genders. It was the coolest community feeling. I remember like halfway through the performance, I had to really focus on keeping it together because I just wanted to cry, the happiest tears. And actually, Khalid played after me, and he cried a bunch on stage. I said, "Damn it! If I would have known that we could do this, I would have been crying."
There you go. Who knew?
Girl, we got to hang out more often because I will cry at the drop of a hat.
Yes, and he does.
Especially on something that especially on something that's just so meaningful. I mean, and here you are. You're
so meaningful.
It really is, and to be able to share your joy and your gifts with other people and just have that reflected back is just incredible. How do you feel there's kind of a little queer country music takeover? There's this guy in Chicago who is like Andrew Saw. He's a fantastic lonesome crooner.
Yeah, he's great.
He's beautiful. It's great.
Wow.
How do you feel the queering of country music? Is that happening really, or where is that?
Okay, so let's talk about country music and the culture of country music for a sec.
Yeah.
It is the campiest, gayest thing I've ever seen. Right? You know what I mean? When you really think about it, country is so camp.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it has been really cool here in Nashville. We have a little crew of us who are all queer country artists, and we really support each other, and we go to all, if there's a show in Nashville, we are there. We're supporting each other, and it's really been amazing to just watch people come out of the woodwork that grew up on country music and then left it because they just didn't hear, anything that sounded like them. They were left out of country music. We were all left out of country music for so long. And I think that it's been so cool, and he has healed the child inside of me to see all of these people, that are coming back to country music because they finally heard a song or are hearing songs that are telling their stories. And that is, like, the biggest gift in the world, because that is, like, we are all writing and singing queer country music because we also need that for ourselves.
That is,
Amen to
that's
that.
amazing. I'm
Amen
just sitting
to-
here.
Do you play in any of the clubs around? Do you ever pop up? Because I'm in Nashville every once in a while. Do you or just do your bigger shows?
Yeah, so I play at the Grand Ole Opry pretty regularly.
Nice.
In Nashville, but my drummer that used to play with me still plays downtown at some of the clubs, and so every once in a while, like if we're down there with friends, I'll text him and be like, "Hey Corbin, where are you playing tonight?" And he'll be like, "You better come up and get up on stage. We're at Tootsie's or wherever."
Oh,
so
good.
every now and then I'll do that.
I love that. I love that.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but, the locals don't really do downtown that much. But if there's people in town, like if we have guests in town, we'll take them downtown one night and,
Sure.
give them a real Nashville experience.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we cannot wait for you to bring your Nashville experience up to Chicago for Market Days. How would you describe, y'all, go. Have you been to Market Days before?
I have not. I've been to Chicago Pride, but I haven't been to Market Days yet. And I love... Tell me all about it. I need to know.
It's
huge.
huge. It is huge. There's going to be a sea of humanity.
It's the most diverse street festival you'll ever go to in your life, as far as a festival. And it's lots of people. It's allies. It's gay, straight, LGBTQ+. It's a beautiful place to be. It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Scott gets a little,
I get panicky.
He gets panicky. I love it. I don't mind it. So, I just have a little token. I'm fine. So I'm ready to go.
Yes, exactly. You just got to get a little
courage.
Anxiety reducing.
Yeah, exactly. You understand.
It's medicine.
Yes, I understand. A little medis. Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
I'm so excited. I was there back in May, and we got to do Charlie's. We did a line dancing night at Charlie's in Chicago, and it was so much fun. And so I love Chicago. Like if I was going to live anywhere other than Nashville, it could be Chicago.
All right.
Well, tell us in February.
I'm really excited.
And
I know. I might go back to Nashville during Sunday.
Do you know what time you hit on Sunday?
It's the 9th, actually. It's August 9th.
I start Saturday. Saturday, August 9th. I go on at 3:30.
Fabulous.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous.
All right.
Well, hey, listen.
I can't wait to see you. I live a few blocks away, so I'll look for you.
Well, please come say hi. I would love to hug your neck.
Oh, me too. All right, you got
it. Brooke, thank you so much for taking time out to chat with us today. Like, what a true delight. I love hearing that Tennessee love coming through the airwaves.
Truth to power.
And in Chicago, you don't want to miss Brooke Eden at Market Days on August 9th. And how can folks follow you and find all of your music? I'm telling you, giddy up, download it right away because it is truly just a joy. How can folks follow you?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Brooke Eden Music on all platforms. So hit me up. Holler.
There we go. Holla over there and go and hug her neck when she comes into Market Days. August 9th. We cannot wait to see you. 2 Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saturday
Brooke Eden,
yes.
Congratulations on everything that you are achieving. And thank you for all the music that you're bringing to the world. We really need it right now.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you for what you do, and I'm excited to see y'all on August 9th.
All right.
See you then.
I'll be the sweaty one having a panic attack. So there you are.
Take care.
Take care,
Brooke. Thank you. Great talking to you.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
All righty.
You too.
We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
The Big Picture with Edwin Eisendrath, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
We had a call on this show. A black woman who called in to say that the pre-election finger pointing at black voters was wrong, that she and her community showed up. And she then asked, with real agony and some anger in her voice, where were the rest of us? She felt betrayed. Boy, I understand those feelings.
The Big Picture with Edwin Eisendrath. Saturdays at 1 p.m.
If you're looking to refinance a home after a divorce, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Today, meet Lori, 50, social worker, score 650, income 90 G's a year. Call to refinance her mentally abusive ex-husband off the mortgage and title of their marital home per the divorce decree. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her ex-husband from the mortgage and title of the home, pay off debt totaling over $60,000, which included her attorney's fees, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her mentally abusive ex-husband from the mortgage and deed of the marital home, pay off all her debt, attorney's bills, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Welcome back to Out Chicago on Chicago's Progressive Talk. Can I get you another Bellini?
Yes, Stephanie Miller, please give me another Bellini. We need one. What a fun day.
Yeah.
Talking with Sasha Velour and Brooke Eden. I'm like, come on.
Great, folks.
It is, yes, super duper folks. We are very lucky. We are very lucky. So lucky. Look, this is the gayest thing that we said a lot of gay things on this show, but this is pretty gay. A chorus line turned 50 this week.
Hard to believe.
Look, a chorus line, I cannot stress enough like how much it changed the Broadway landscape.
Yes.
About what a musical could be. But it changed this little gay boy's life back in St. Louis at the Muni, which I talked about at the beginning of the show, about going there and seeing this show on stage. It was one of the first times that I think audiences were really felt for a gay man in there. For folks out there who might not be familiar, a chorus line was made by interviewing a lot of dancers who were in the choruses of Broadway shows. And the entire play is an audition to be in the chorus of a play. So you have all these people who are in that iconic line, which was that poster, which to me was like the coolest poster on the planet. And you learn one by one, you learn about the people behind the artists. And it was at a time when it was like, so 50 years ago, let's do the math, that would be 70s.
Yes.
75.
Yes.
Because that's how you do math.
That's how it was.
That's how math works.
That's how
but you have
50
people
years.
talking about their first time, being just like anybody's sexual awakening, all of these, everybody across is a great number in that. But there's these wonderful stories. This one character, Paul, about how he got into the arts was by going into drag, and his parents finding out and the shame that he felt with all of that. Like it was a really pivotal musical moment. And it really changed, again, what Michael Bennett changed what we consider is like a musical theater performance. So it was just a huge thing.
Oh, it was a big deal. My relationship with it is my sister, who is got a beautiful singing voice. She did What I Did for Love. She sang it in high school. She sang it in college, and it was just her signature song.
It's a good
and
one.
I always think of my sister when I hear that song or think of chorus line, because she it was meaningful, and it was she did a beautiful rendition.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And a lot of people think it's a love song towards another person, but it's a love song to the theater.
Yes, it is. And
anyway,
yes.
And on that gay note,
Yes, it is.
we have wrapped up another big gay show here. I want to thank all of our guests, Illinois State Senator Mike Simmons, Sasha Velour. Cannot wait. You'll have a full report.
Yes, give me a full report.
And Brooke Eden. Devin, thank you so much for running everything. Vicky, thanks so much for hanging out today. Great to have you there. Paul, you're doing what you do over there. We don't know what it is, but you're doing it. And Ellen, you're going to be gone next week to celebrate a birthday.
Yes, my mother-in-law's 80th birthday. It was in February, but we're finally getting around to celebrating it in Tennessee over the weekend. So I will be gone, but you'll be in good hands with Scott and Tanya. So.
Yeah, yes. So we'll see you on the flip side.
I'll see you next following weekend.
And I'm Scott Duff, and until next week,
stay proud.
Around the Town, Chicago, with Al Besloff.
We had a very strange thing happen. Right. We were supposed to be talking to Ronnie Marmol, who is back.
Hey, Al, listen, I got a bone to pick with you. I listened to your broadcast last week after the fact, and you threw me under the bus. You acted like you couldn't find me. You guys were calling the wrong number.
I know.
How's that my fault?
At the time, it seemed like I had to do it.